Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for the True Heel Heats Impact Wrestling Rebellion 2021 Roundtable Review. We got to get into a whole lot of stuff, a huge show from Impact Wrestling, probably the biggest show in Impact Wrestling history, with the main event of the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega going one-on-one with the Impact World Champion Rich Swann, title versus title. And yes, we have we have one champion who came out of it. No chicanery. We got a clean finish, and we're going to get into it. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, drop us a like. Smash that subscribe button if you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. If you've seen me on Wrestling Daily, see me on Sports Kina, welcome to the party. This is where the real fun happens. We get these live streams going, so push that subscribe button, push the bell to always stay notified. If you're watching us on Facebook, drop us an expression, tag a friend in the live chat, leave your thoughts, because you are a part of this show along with us and along with my good brothers. First of all, we have the connoisseur of reporting, the pilot of the DeLorean. He is the one, the only, Romeo Anthony Colon.
What's up, guys? I bet you're wondering, wow, Romeo watched an Impact pay-per-view. Yes, Romeo did. Romeo watched.
Yes, I that's why I had to introduce you first, because this is a surprise to me. You shocked me at the 24th hour and said you were coming on. So, hey, I'm all for it. But we got to bring in the good brothers, the guys that man the ship for Impact Wrestling right here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. They come along with their lovely assistants, Mary Jane, because they are the pot heels. They are the hosts of Blunt Impact. First of all, we have the Roundtable Rebel. You see him every now and again when we do these roundtables. He is the co-host of the aforementioned Blunt Impact and Fusion of Honor and Joints and Jabronis. He is the three-time baby making champion. This is Ness.
Good brothers. Yeah, man, is ready to review this awesome pay-per-view. And as always, or actually, I was actually shocked to see that Romeo was going to review this with us. He told me to shut up while we were watching it, but I'll take that because this was a monumental pay-per-view to review. So happy to have my good brothers on here, and definitely happy to review this great show.
Absolutely, sir. And then we have finally the other co-host of Blunt Impact, the resident True Heel marijuana enthusiast himself, Chris G.
With Mary Jane, daddy. Damn it, I miss Johnny Swinger so much. But man, somebody call Satan, ask him if they put the AC on in hell, because it might have froze over. My man Romeo watching Impact. Ooh, I like it.
This is how you know this is one of the biggest shows in Impact Wrestling history, because Romeo Anthony Colon is with us live, folks.
Oh,
so yeah,
you guys are dragging it out. Will you stop? Will you stop?
So yes, please leave your thoughts on everything that you thought about Impact Wrestling Rebellion in the live chat right now. We want to hear your thoughts because you guys are a part of this show as well. We got D Naz in the comments. He says, first of all, he says, I love True Heel Heat. He says, I think you shouldn't use thumbnails with spoilers in them. Well, you shouldn't be watching a live stream, a roundtable review. If you watch the show, I'm sorry. But yes, he says, I love True Heel Heat. But yes, keep on leaving your thoughts in the live chat on Impact Wrestling Rebellion. We're going to let you know what we thought about the show. But like we've been doing on these Impact and WWE and AEW and all the wrestling around the world roundtable reviews, we're going to start from what we just saw. And what we just saw was AEW World Champion Kenny Omega going one-on-one with Impact World Champion Rich Swann. And my oh my, this match was just great storytelling from beginning to end. we had Kenny Omega really focusing on the neck of Rich Swann. First of all, using like a backdrop that landed Rich Swann on the apron neck first. And then he followed up with the buckle bomb. It became his focus of the whole match, focusing on the neck and the back to set up for the One Ring Angel. Rich Swann kept reversing out of the One Ring Angel. There was a couple of mistimed spots. Rich Swann, one where it looked like he was trying for either a poison Rana or try to flip out of the One Ring Angel into a sunset flip power bomb, but he kind of just slipped off and Kenny Omega fell back. That was kind of a really weird spot right there, weird botch during the matchup, but they got it together, and really the last 10 minutes really drove home this matchup. We had two referees, with Tony Khan saying that he brought Aubrey Edwards to referee this match. Scott D'Amore had Brian Hebner as the referee. We had a nice little backstage segment earlier in the night where Tony Khan says, "Oh, you're going to call it right down the middle, Brian? What's your last name?" So yes, that was a fun little spot right there that set up the two referees, which Aubrey Edwards actually called it down the middle. She stopped Kenny Omega from using a steel chair after he pushed Brian Hebner into Rich Swann's cutter. These two men went back and forth, but really at the end, Omega really dominated with V trigger after V trigger after V trigger. Rich Swann selling the hell out of these V triggers, drooling at one point, looking unconscious. Kenny Omega finally hit another V trigger, and then the One Ring Angel after Rich Swann missed his Phoenix Splash for the 1-2-3 in 23 minutes. Kenny Omega retains the AEW World Championship, and he becomes the new Impact Wrestling World Champion, unified Impact Wrestling World Champion. So not only does he have the Impact World Championship, but he has the TNA World Championship. Kenny Omega having all the gold along with the AAA Mega Championship. And this was the picture at the end of the night. Kenny Omega holding all the gold. He is the belt collector. The story is somewhat complete, but it feels like it is just the beginning. We're going to get into everything that has happened throughout the night later. But first of all, let's talk about the main event of the evening. I will go to you, Romeo. You are new to the Impact universe. You see, I think you came for this main event. Did it live up to your expectations? And what was your star ratings?
Yeah, they delivered. They delivered. This is about as good as you could have had this match. I love that there was no funny business with the Good Brothers or anything, or Edwards and Mac. They also had out there on behalf of Swann, which I liked. It gave it a big fight feel. It makes sense. Impact. You know, you got your world champion out there. You don't want no funny business. Send out two other guys, two of his buddies. Mauro Ranallo was great. He was awesome. He elevated this match.
He was excellent.
You can't spell Omega without OMG. Woo! Straight heat. Straight heat. And great match. I didn't like Scott D'Amore's reaction at the end. I thought it was kind of, a little bad acting, a little mad. You just lost your world championship. He was like, "Oh, I guess I'm going to clap it up for them." It looked a little underwhelming, his reaction. I gave it 4.5 stars.
4.5 stars. That is a good rating for this matchup. Let's go over to Chris G. Chris G, you've been a big fan of Rich Swann. I remember the build up to Bound for Glory. You were really on his favor. So what did you think overall? This is the end of Rich Swann's reign. So not only was your thoughts on this match, your star rating, but what did you think overall of Rich Swann's performance in this match?
Besides the two little slip-ups that they might have had, I thought this match was great. I thought everything, it had everything. It had drama. It had Mauro on commentary. This is a history-making match. So I'm going to overrate this match. I'm going to give it 5 stars.
Wow.
And I'm giving it 5 stars because the impact, no pun intended, of this match is I think is going to be big. I hope is going to be big. I hope it opens a new door, a new era into wrestling. I think that's what this match does. I think that's what it's going to do. So it deserves 5 stars in my book.
So we got 4.5 stars from Romeo, 5 stars from Chris G. Wow. Ness, follow that. What was your thoughts on this match and your star rating?
Well, this match, let me just take it back a bit. When Buddy, I forgot what his name was, saying that maybe we shouldn't start this with spoilers. That's not a spoiler. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was coming. Unfortunately, I love Rich Swann. I'm a huge Rich Swann fan, advocate. I was happy to see him get the Impact and TNA. I was happy for him to get the Impact world title, and then to go on and become the unified Impact / TNA world champion. But as much as I love Rich Swann, the inevitable is Kenny Omega. There was no way that, in my opinion, there was no way that Rich Swann was going to come out of this with the victory. It's a bigger idea overall with Kenny taking these titles. Whatever he's going to do with it for however long, whenever the case or whenever the time comes when someone from Impact can bring them back, that's going to make this is the reason why this is so big. Whoever beats Kenny Omega for for the Impact Championships is going to be a made man. So that's the end game in the long run. The match itself, I give it 4.5 stars. Again, I probably would have gave it a little bit more for the slip ups, and I'm not even going to hinder these guys for that because their styles is just that. You got to hit hard, hit them hard, hit them fast. And sometimes that does take away from the matches when they do slip up. But these guys still put on a phenomenal performance. Having Morrow there again. I miss hearing Morrow in wrestling, man. That definitely was another element to the match that made it even better. And he gave that big fight feel to it. So that definitely goes into the star rating. And then just like the overall story, there was no funny business. It was just two guys coming and showing up that who's going to be the better. And out of the two, it was Kenny Omega. So, props to Kenny Omega, props for Rich Swann for having his title run in a phenomenal match. But, the Impact titles are now in AEW. Can't say nothing about that.
Yes. Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, the new unified Impact World Champion. And you guys said it like this match kind of had everything that you wanted and that made it live up to all the hype and the anticipation going into it. A brilliant performance by Kenny Omega. Just his strikes, those V triggers were just ridiculous. Like some people say, oh, he overuses it, but he tells a story with overusing it. Like he sees that it's working and then he just goes into overkill and I'm going to V-trigger your face in until I'm ready to just finish you with the One Ring Angel, with the kill shot. These are just my little jabs before I hit my knockout blow. It's basic fighting and it just makes sense and it just builds the whole story. And he just has a like this heel character. You can see he's getting very comfortable with it in the ring. It's a very old school type of way where he's working the body parts up to build up to his finish as well. And he did that superbly in this matchup. But Rich Swann kind of rose up to Kenny Omega's level, in my opinion. He proved himself as one of the best baby faces with his selling, with his comebacks, with his strikes. Like his strikes were on the money in this matchup. Like I said, the couple of botch spots kind of hold it back a little bit. I won't go as far as Chris G with the 5 stars, but I agree with both of you guys. I think it's 4.5 stars. A great match, Impact Wrestling Match of the Year candidate. And if this is what we're gonna get with Kenny Omega as the world champion, matches with guys like Willie Mack or Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callahan, Trey Miguel, I don't mind. Give him 20, 25 minutes to have these bangers like what we saw tonight. And Impact Wrestling, already we got the tweet from Brian Alvarez who says, unsurprisingly, that Impact Wrestling had a ton of new buyers for this pay-per-view. This is going to be probably the biggest buy rate for Impact Wrestling since the Anthem era, probably going as far back as the era that had like Kurt Angle, Sting, Dixie Carter. So it's been almost a decade since Impact Wrestling will have a pay-per-view of this buy rate. Kenny Omega is a draw for all you Stan-like fans who are lovers of the WWE are going to deny anything AEW positive. Kenny Omega is a draw, whether you want to realize it or not. The facts and the numbers prove it, and he proved it tonight. He drew for this match. It lived up to all the expectations. He put on a fabulous performance, and Impact Wrestling looks really good now. It's trending worldwide. I think it was second, or even at one point was first in the US. So Impact Wrestling is going to get a lot of eyes on them and a lot of buzz behind them after this pay-per-view. So we got in the comments here, we got Benjamin Stoneler. He says, whoever beats Kenny, who are they going to get? Joe, Okada, someone else? Yes, that brings me to talk about the other big news coming out of this night was a little teaser. Impact Wrestling kind of showed what they had planned for the next couple of months in the lead up to Slammiversary in July. They let us know that Under Siege will happen on May 15th. Against All Odds will happen on June 12th. And then they hyped their next big pay-per-view, which is Slammiversary in July. And ironically enough, once again, after last year, Impact Wrestling has a pay-per-view that comes surprisingly just after the 90-day non-compete clause comes up for certain WWE talent that just got released, and a couple of them have their history in Impact Wrestling. So in this Slammiversary teaser, we saw highlights of Samoa Joe, Chelsea Green, Mickie James, and not only just WWE former releases, but we have Kazuka Okada teased in this teaser for Slammiversary. So I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to put it out there for you guys. Which ones do you see showing up at Slammiversary, and which ones do you see being like Gregory Helms last year, who got teased to be at Slammiversary and never showed up, of just Impact blowing smoke up our ass to make us order Slammiversary in July? Romeo?
I missed the shot of Okada's. That's news to me. I think you'll get Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe will be one of them.
You think we're going to see the return of Samoa Joe to Impact Wrestling?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to ask this question. I'm going to go to Chris G with this one. So, if we get Samoa Joe at Slammiversary, you know what my eyes are on? Samoa Joe versus Kenny Omega. Could we possibly see that this year? Do you think that is a possibility, Chris G?
I think it's a possibility, but not an impact. I don't think Samoa Joe. No, I don't think Samoa Joe going to impact. I don't know. I think if he's going to go anywhere to fight, I think it'll be AEW. I have a feeling he might. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to go to Impact, though.
Who do you think out of the people they tease in this little teaser for Slammiversary is going to show up?
I think the most obvious is Chelsea Green because Matt Cardona is there already. Okada has said in the past that he was open to coming back to Impact, so that would be, opening the forbidden door, the floodgates, so to speak. That would be cool. I wouldn't bet on it. I'd go 50-50 on that. And Mickie James, I would say she got a good shot of showing up too.
Yeah, I did find it interesting that Mickie James was the last image that they showed. So that is a strong possibility. What about you, Ness? What did you think of the teaser, and who do you think will show up at Slammiversary?
Yeah, the teaser definitely has me intrigued. Honestly, just from the teaser alone, I was just thinking, like, it doesn't even matter who comes at the time. I just want to see more of this forbidden door being open and the working relationship between all the companies. But one that's for sure, definitely Chelsea Green, not only because of Matt Cardona, but just because they need more blood, new blood, fresh blood in the knockouts division, regardless if it's a heel or face, whoever it is. They just need more people or more women. Another one that I just want to see and would love for it to be, I would like to see Joe pop up in Impact. Maybe it doesn't even have to be signed. Joe has so much like notoriety and just like just it's Samoa Joe. Like maybe he can just work dates and stuff like that with again within these same companies that are all working together right now. So it's just like I would love to see that because that will open up other doors as well. But for sure, I can see Chelsea Green and possibly Mickey James as well, actually, just for the knockouts division. Because again, they definitely need some fresh faces.
Yes, we're going to definitely talk about what happened the rest of the night, but I definitely had to ask you guys about that Slammiversary teaser. So I don't know, Chris G, Ness, you usually run the show with Impact Wrestling. I don't know if you guys want to pilot this ship for this roundtable review.
I smoke, so I like when you and Romeo or even Chris do it. So
yeah, my notes for this aren't as extensive as they would be for a Blunt Blunt Impact episode. So, I mean, I can try.
Fair enough. I can run the ship. It's the roundtable reviews, but you guys gotta help us out watching. Drop your thoughts on Impact Wrestling Rebellion. What you think about Kenny Omega, the new Impact World Champion and AEW World Champion, the Belt Collector. What do you think is next for Kenny Omega? What do you think is next for Impact Wrestling with Kenny Omega as their new World Champion? Talk about it in the live chat. We want to hear your thoughts all about Impact Wrestling Rebellion. But let's talk about from the top of the show what kicked off the night. We had Josh Alexander, TJP, and Ace Austin, the X Division champion, defending his title in a three-way matchup. This felt like a throwback, a flashback to old school TNA. You know, you got multiple men in the X Division, and it doesn't matter who you put in there. You could just mix it up, and they'll have one of the best matches on the night, and that's what they delivered. They delivered a very fun opener to this show. Just the styles is just a nice little mix. You know, like TJP, who's more of the more like the technical wrestling meets lucha. You got Josh Alexander, who's more submission based, more the amateur wrestling style, and then Ace Austin is just so athletic and just so innovative with his offense, handsprings with one hand and stuff on the apron. This match really broke down, but in the end, it was Madman Fulton getting involved, denying TJP a pinfall. This led to him running into Madman Fulton on the outside, and it left Josh Alexander in the ring with Ace Austin, and he hit Divine Intervention for the 1, 2, 3. A great opener, in my opinion. I gave this one 4 stars. I think this was X Division at its best, and I rather enjoyed this, and I thought it was a great way to kick off the show. Let's go over to Chris G. What was your thoughts on the X Division opener?
I also gave this 4 stars. This was a good way to start the show. That crazy X Division action. I like the mix of the guys. Josh Alexander, of course, being the size and the strength. Ace Austin being innovative. TJP just being a piece of shit. But that's it made for a great match. It made for a really great match. And I'm happy for Josh Alexander. He deserves it. He's been working hard. He's been working hard for years already there. So it's fine. It's about time he gets a little singles run. We'll see how he does.
It's gonna be interesting. I think it was a great moment for him. A great way to kick off the show with a title change as well, kind of refreshing a lot of divisions they did throughout the night. Ness, what was your thoughts on the 3-way X Division match in star rating?
I gave this match 4.25 stars. This was definitely one of my favorite matches of the night. The clash of styles again with Josh Alexander being the powerhouse technical guy, and then TJP being the hybrid. He can go technical, he can high fly, he can strike with you, and then the same for Ace Austin. So it was nice to see all these guys mix it up. Pretty much I'm glad this opened the show, and this is the match I actually wanted the show to open up with, because I knew that this was going to knock it out of the park. These guys are all phenomenal talents in their own right, and then like just the match itself, the spots. There was the one spot where I think Ace Austin, I forgot who did it, the monkey flip and then Josh Alexander caught him, and then the double or triple ankle lock spot. Like, it was just a lot of different things going on in this match that kept me on the edge of my seat. So definitely congratulations as well to Josh Alexander. He definitely deserved this. This is one of the two people I was pulling for, either Ace Austin to retain or Josh Alexander to win. Fuck TJP. Didn't want him to win this at all. So I'm happy. Very, very happy.
I agree with any TJP slander, so I will go over to Romeo. What was your thoughts on the three-way?
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Madman Fulton, this is for you, buddy. Appreciate it.
He shouted you out or something? I don't know.
He's the reason why TJP didn't win.
Well, there you go. Yes. We got to congratulate Madman Fulton for his service to society. Romeo, what was your thoughts on the three-way X Division opener?
Yes, 4 stars as well. I like the superplex with the side Russian leg sweep. That was creative. Good counters in this match. And, they had that big Josh fight this weekend. I think some 5-year-old kid named Josh won. Now, he has to come see Josh Alexander now. Josh Alexander is representing Josh's as well. I want to see Josh Alexander versus that 5-year-old kid.
I agree there. He needs to
turn into a Make-A-Wish kid.
He needs to be in there with our own Josh, true draw Josh. He need to be in there too. So that tag team would take over the Josh fight for sure. But yes, I like Josh Alexander. Like he's like a mix of kind of like Ken Shamrock meets Rick Steiner in a lot of ways. And I like the spot where I think TJP was trying to put him in like the STF, and he put Ace Austin in the ankle lock at the same time. So it became like a race to who was going to submit first. Just a lot of innovative sequences and exchanges in this match. It was a lot of fun to watch. But yes, let us know in the live chat what you guys thought about the X Division opener. A fun way to start the show. Were you surprised that Josh Alexander won the title? And what do you think is next for the X Division? Let us know in the live chat. We got to move on. They talked about the rest of the card. They talked about Eric Young being injured and having to be replaced in tonight's 8-man tag team match, as it was Violent by Design versus the team, as I like to call it. I called it on True Hill Heat 122 this week, the Impact All-Stars, as it was Eddie Edwards, Willie Mack, James Storm, and Chris Sabin versus VBD. This has been building up for a number of weeks, but like I said, Eric Young got injured during the last TV taping for Impact Wrestling, so we saw a backstage segment where they were talking to the guy that they had recruited, and he needed to prove himself. They said he's not ready for the group and the truth, but this is his opportunity to show that he is. So we had the entrances, and then Eric Young brought out none other than the former Big Cass XL, now known as W. Morrissey. Morrissey. W. Morrissey. I was very adored by the name, but he looks incredible. He looks like he's in the best shape of his career. He looked like a very intimidating force, and this became really a match to kind of showcase him and make him look good in his debut here. But a lot of fun action, a lot of nonstop action throughout this matchup. The baby faces, a lot of great comebacks during this matchup. One great spot with Chris Sabin doing a superplex on Diener to the outside on all the men involved. In the end, it was Willie Mack who hit the East River Crossing it was W. Morrissey, W. Morrissey hitting Willie Mack with the East River Crossing to pick up the victory. A nice show of strength by him, getting up the bigger Willie Mack. This was chaotic and nonstop action. Like I said before, I gave this match 3.25 stars. I thought it was a nice way to mix it up after the X Division opener. What was your thoughts on this match, Romeo?
3 stars from me. I thought Willie Mack looked good. I thought W. Morrissey looked intimidating. He stood out. I hate the name. I know it's his real name. It's based off his real name, but
yes,
we're going to have to come up with something different there. Tremendous shape. And, he stood out. And we'll see if he sticks around. I like that shot at the end where he was posing and you had Violent by Design on the ramp behind him. It was very nice.
Yes. I like the Violent by Design stable as a whole. I think Derek Young, it's kind of a ode to sanity in a lot of ways, and it's kind of with Eric Young kind of being at the helm of it creatively, unlike it was in NXT. Ness, what was your thoughts on the 8-man tag?
I gave this match 3.25 stars. It was decent, kind of a clusterfuck, but it is what it is with these type of matches. Morris, I don't want to call him Morrissey. Kaz looks fucking incredible. When I completely forgot that Eric Young was injured before this match, so it just slipped my mind that he obviously wasn't going to be in the match. But Chris G was the one that said that it was going to be Big Cass, and I'm just like, yeah, right, like nah. But then he comes out, and I'm like, shit, it's fucking Big Cass. But then I'm looking at him like, shit, fucking Big Cass. He like looks way better than whatever trauma and whatever life was going through at the time. But he looks fucking great. He was decent in the ring, and I just want to see where he goes. See if his sidekick pops up now in Impact too, along with does Enzo's name change? Is he going to fucking change his name or whatever?
I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting person for any company to hire at this point, but we shall see. Chris G, what was your thoughts on the 6-man tag and the debut of W. Morrissey?
I actually wouldn't mind Enzo. That's funny that you say that. But yeah, I read a report that Cass was gonna debut imminently, and I thought it would be a great idea. Why not have him with Violent by Design? He fits the mold. He's a big dude. He could be violent, and here we go. So good shit. I liked it. I liked the match. It was a car crash. I gave it 3 stars. But I like the car crash aspect of everything. And I thought I'm just gonna call him Morrissey because I think just Morrissey would have been cool. You could drop the W. We could pull a WWE on this. God damn it, pal! Drop the W. Just give him one name. Let's call him Morrissey. And he looked scary, but he looked good, man. He looked like he hasn't lost a step, and that's a good first step progressing forward. So I hope he really turned his shit around and he lives up to the potential that everybody else saw in him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who always had a great look. He's always been this very tall, intimidating force. I mean, he didn't look this intimidating because he didn't have the vascular look and the tone that he has right now. So I think that this is a great chance for him. I'm glad that he's gotten his life together and he got this opportunity and he looked good in this showcase for himself. So it was definitely a great way to make a debut in Impact Wrestling. And I think it's a place that has shown itself to be a place for opportunity for guys coming out of WWE or coming from somewhere else or even coming to the independents, it seems. But talking about guys who have left WWE, we got to talk about the next match on the card. It was a grudge match as we had Brian Myers going one-on-one with Matt Cardona, the former Major Bros, the host of the Major Wrestling Figures podcast. And yes, this match has been brewing for months. Brian Myers accusing Matt Cardona of riding his coattails into Impact Wrestling. Matt Cardona giving him the name of Bad Mood Brian because of all the bad move and all the trash talk he's been having leading up to this matchup. If Brian Myers kind of avoiding this match and then Matt Cardona kind of forcing his hand building to this match. And they had a pretty good matchup, in my opinion. These guys worked well together. They know each other very well. I think even though Brian Myers kind of fit to his character, kind of relying on cheating tactics, I feel like he was the better of the two, or he looked the better of the two throughout this match. In the last couple of minutes, both men exchanged near falls. At the end, Matt Cardona went for his radio silence finisher, only to get tossed over and have a bad landing on his left leg. The fall actually did look bad as it intended to, and it made you think that it was actually legit. Cardona got up. Myers got Cardona up and hit 2 roster cuts and picked up the victory. This was a good match. Like I said, I gave this 3.25 stars as well. Like I did with the 8-man tag. I think that Brian Myers looks like a more established heel here. I think that they have a lot of meat on the bone here to continue this rivalry, and we can get some stipulations. They got some Impact Plus specials coming up, and I think Cardona and Myers are expected to be on at least one or both of those. So what was your thoughts on this match, Ness?
I gave this match 3 stars. It was a decent match, honestly, and if you guys watch Blunt Impact, I am not the biggest fan of Brian Myers at all, but I gotta give him his props. Like the last episode of Impact and this match tonight, I can definitely give him his props without being a hater. So the only thing that I had a gripe with was like when the ref threw up the X. So I'm like, oh, I guess the match is over. But then he just continued the match anyway. I'm like, all right, so what was the point of just what was the point of that anyway? But that's neither here nor there. It was decent though overall. So if I'm praising Brian Myers, then it was at least watchable.
That has to say something. Romeo, what was your thoughts on this matchup and star rating?
I gave him 3 stars, mostly for the finish. They fooled me real good. I didn't know if it was a work or a shoot, or I was working myself into a shoot, brother. I had no idea what was going on. Cardona legit rolled his ankle. That looked scary, but I guess he's okay. Shit, I don't know. Maybe it was real. Who knows? But 3 stars. I like that ending.
Yeah, I did like the ending. Chris G, what was your thoughts on the match and your star rating?
I gave it 3 stars. I did like the ending as well. I thought I didn't know what to expect, but I kind of had a feeling that they would have good chemistry, even though we haven't seen much of them going against each other really, ever. So this is a good match. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to it continuing. I was hoping it wasn't just like a one and done. So, it is what it is. That weak ass roster cut had to do it twice, but it is what it is.
I mean,
is it really named a roster cut? That's beautiful.
Yes, he needs to cut it out of the roster of his moves.
That's a dope name, but it's that
weak ass clothesline.
I honestly, it finally worked for me with that promo he cut on the Go Home show when he said when he was like, "You're just gonna be nothing but another roster cut." I was like, "Oh man, that's a sick burn," but you're actually quoting your finisher. I thought that was awesome on the Go Home show. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this was the best Brian Myers match I've ever seen in my life.
And that's saying something, folks.
It's good.
It is saying something. I don't know.
Me.
We haven't got a big supply of Brian Myers matches in the past. But yeah. But yes, like they said, a very good matchup. Arguably Brian Myers' best match. Let us know in the live chat what you guys thought about the match, or in the comment section if you're watching on demand. But we got to move on to plenty more action that was on Impact Wrestling Rebellion. Next up, we had Impact Knockouts action as the Knockouts tag team titles were on the line of Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Fire and Flavor defending the titles against Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering. This match was set up by Jazz and Jordynne Grace defeating Fire and Flavor after Jazz's retirement speech. This led to them getting a shot from Scott D'Amore, which Jazz said that she had the perfect partner for Jordynne Grace since she was retiring, and it was none other than Rachel Ellering. I think that even though this was the first time, I think Rachel Ellering and Grace working together, I think they worked together pretty well. But this was more about, the teamwork of Fire and Flavor, more of like a power versus speed type of matchup. I think that Rachel Ellering had a really good hot tag during this matchup, and she looked good in her debut. And in the end, it was her hitting like this suplex version of the Sky High for the 1-2-3 as Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering win the tag team titles with Jazz in their corner as their new licensed manager, apparently, according to the commentary team. But yes, in her first match, Rachel Ellering wins gold in Impact Wrestling, a hell of a debut for her. I gave this match 2 3/4 stars. I just thought that there was a couple of rough spots, especially towards the end. That one scary spot with Tasha Steelz getting a back body drop to the outside and hitting the apron really bad, really rough landing there. So there was a kind of some mistiming there, but I think that the ladies worked hard and it was a decent matchup in the end. Pretty solid action. What was your thoughts on this one, Chris G?
Yeah, I gave this 2 3/4 as well. I enjoyed it. Besides that, that was a sick spot. Apparently she was trying to go for a cutter, but
That's what I thought. And yeah she cut herself.
Yeah, she almost cut her career short. That's what she did. Almost. Thankfully, she's probably okay. But I like this. Good chemistry with Jordan and Rachel. I don't know if they worked together before. It certainly looks like they at least practiced a few moves together. So that was nice to see. She's a good addition to the roster, man. I just want to see more depth in the women's roster, to be honest. So this is one addition that we'll see tonight, and I like it. And I'm fine with new champs. I'm fine with her winning the gold on her first night. Make a statement. Why not? She looked good. She proved that like she's a force to be reckoned with. So why not?
Yes, she proved the point in this matchup. Romeo, what was your thoughts on Grace and Ellering versus Fire and Flavor?
2 3/4 stars for me. I thought the ending was a little awkward. Not the women, but on commentary, Matt Stryker. I don't even think he called the ending. He's like, that move caught me by surprise. I'm like, what? You're the fucking play-by-play announcer. What do you mean the move caught you by surprise? And then they cut the celebration short a little bit. They rushed into a video package. I don't know what was going on.
I felt like they ran out of time there towards the end. I will say that they kind of cut the celebration very, very short there for the ladies, kind of ruining the moment slightly. Ness, what was your thoughts on the Knockouts Tag Team title match?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it unanimous with 2 3/4 stars. It was a decent showing for Rachel Ellering. I really don't. I remember her being in the Mae Young Classic, but I don't remember like her run in it. But tonight was a very great showing. It definitely has me intrigued in her. Her and Jordan definitely are a force to be reckoned with. And as I said to you guys in the chat that they have a different aesthetic. They're both big powerhouse, women. We don't have that a lot in wrestling, so they can definitely make waves in that division and just be in that style of wrestling as well. So I'm all for it. I've been on the Fire and Flavor float. I called it, said that their time is come and gone. It is what it is. They definitely added some prestige, being it's the new first Knockouts Tag Team Champions, but I think Jordan and Rachel Ellering are going to have some amazing matches that add even more prestige to these titles.
Yes, that is true. That is true. We got in the comments Benjamin Stoller saying it felt like Rachel might not be ready for prime time. I was seeing a couple of people on social media kind of saying that she didn't look in the best shape. Someone on social media said, referencing her significant other, saying that she went to the Chris Hero training or diet plan or something like that. I was like, come on.
What's that? Dave Meltzer.
I was like, these are the type of people that would be the first ones to like criticize Dave Meltzer for saying something like that. Yeah. I think that Rachel's always kind of been that shape. So I think that she kind of presents herself in a good way, and it's more about the wrestling with her. So we shouldn't focus on that type of thing. It's a disgusting thing that male wrestling fans kind of do from time to time. And
it's terrible because she's a beautiful woman. It doesn't matter her size.
And they complaining about her shape, and they can't even see their dicks. Come on.
Good point. Good point there. We got Grace saying we got Benjamin Stoller saying Grace was really good though. He says he's correcting what we thought. He says, oh no, not for that, just for ring rust and crispness. I mean, yeah, probably there was a little bit of a ring rust, but I think, like I said, her hot tag was really good. Towards the end, she looked great in her debut, and she won gold here. So in the end, she came out on top. So we got to move on to more action as we had our first stipulation of the night. It was a last man standing match as Sami Callihan went one-on-one with Trey Miguel. These guys have been feuding for quite a number of weeks ever since Trey Miguel returned to Impact Wrestling. It was Sami Callihan who accused or questioned Trey Miguel's passion. We got a great vignette and video package ahead of the match that kind of told the story building up to this for people who haven't been watching from week to week. That really kind of painted the picture very well for the storyline. And this match was very hard hitting and very violent. I would say that Trey Miguel deserved his paycheck after this match because he took some ridiculous bumps and spots throughout this. He got body slammed to the outside from the ring to kind of open the match up. He got a suicide dive to the outside where Sami Callihan moved and he ate the barricade. Oh, that was just painful to watch. At one point, they brought his table into the ring and they flipped it on its back and with the leg standing up, and he got body slammed onto that, kind of where the commentator said he got decapitated, but he would be dead if that was the case. But to each his own. But yes, this one read very long though. In the end, they kind of were stretching things. I think that it was filled with a bunch of great action and cool spots, but with the last man standing aspect, there's going to be a lot of standing around and 9 counts. But I think they did good with the spots, and they had a innovative finish where Sami Callihan put Trey Miguel under the steel steps. Trey Miguel went under the ring and got up before the count of 9. As Sami Callihan was still standing on the steel steps, he got caught with a cutter as Trey Miguel hit the cutter through a table, and he got up before the count of 9, and Sami Callihan couldn't get up before the count of 10, and Trey Miguel defeats Sami Callihan in the last man standing match. I gave this match 3 3/4 stars. I think it was on the cusp of being really, really great, really, really good matchup. But like I said, it was a little long in the tooth, kind of in the middle portion, but plenty of great action. And like I said, Trey Miguel took some sick bumps. This was big moves, big spots, kind of the Sami Callihan special. So I was very entertained by this bout in the end, though. Romeo, what was your thoughts on Callihan versus Miguel?
The finish was really creative. I enjoyed that. I thought that was good. I gave it 3 1/4 stars. I feel like it didn't really elevate Trey Miguel because I feel like he just got his ass kicked way too much in this match. He hardly had any offense until that ending spot. Maybe if there was like blood, maybe a little bit of guts, I think it would have elevated Trey Miguel a little bit more. I laughed at the wrench spot. That was funny.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes, there was a couple of funny spots there. The wrench, oh man, I was like only Sammy could pull this shit out. Chris G, what was your thoughts on Callihan versus Miguel and star rating?
The wrench spot kind of reminded me of when Randy Orton did the shit to Jeff Hardy with his ear. And he's just like, ah! And you just see his mouth just come out with a big ass. It was cool. Good visual. I enjoyed the match. I gave it 3 1/2 stars. I think it did drag a little bit, but Trey took a hell of a beating. Holy shit. Then when he ate the rail, it was one of those moments. Oh, shit. You could taste the metal from here. And they didn't break the first table. I was a little disappointed. But at least they broke the second one with that creative finish. So I appreciated that. Other than that, I think it was a good payoff because me and Ness been following this whole feud, and at first he knows I wasn't really warm on it. So I think it was a good payoff. I liked it.
Ness, what was your thoughts on Callihan versus Miguel and star rating?
I gave this match 3 1/2 stars. Definitely, I hope a culmination to this rivalry. I think the reason why Trey Miguel got his ass kicked so much was to show Sammy that he does, quote unquote, have that passion. So I understand why it took so long for as the match was. But he took some crazy spots, man. That wrench spot, that shit shocked the hell out of me. And then, like you said, the suicide dive where he just ate the rail, that was terrible. How many times he got dropped on his head, even on the apron. like the table that didn't break, he got his ass kicked this match. So I'm sure he hopped in the ice bath after that. Hopefully he got paid very well. But yeah, 3.5 stars. This was a good, hopefully a blow off to this feud. Now Trey Miguel can go do something important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Trey Miguel moves on from here. Maybe the X Division Championship, maybe heavyweight championship. I wouldn't mind Trey Miguel versus Kenny Omega. I think that win or lose, he would gain a lot from a matchup of that type of like proportion for him at his young stage of his career, and it would prove that he made the right decision in staying with Impact Wrestling over going with his brothers in the Rascals to MSK in NXT. So let's move on to our another title match on this night. You had a bunch of title matches on this show, but this one was for the Impact Tag Team Championships as New Japan Pro Wrestling's FinJuice, David Finlay and Juice Robinson versus the Good Brothers of Machine Gun Carl Anderson and the Big LG Doc Gallows. This one was a good old-fashioned, old-school tag team matchup. The Good Brothers kind of dominating, taking the heat, working over Finlay for a while until he's able to get the hot tag over to Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson always with the strong comeback. I think this one was a very impressive performance for me for Juice Robinson. He's someone that I think is a babyface that kind of needs a crowd because he relies on him so much. His connection with the crowd is amazing in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but he was able to kind of exude that even in an empty arena, and that was great to me. And I just love the feel of the FinJuice, kind of their odes to the past with the Doomsday device and the other old school finishers that they use. And the finish was very old school. Like this is something that they would have used in the 80s, in the 90s. The Good Brothers set up for the Magic Killer. They were confident they were going to get the win, but Finlay made the save for Juice Robinson, and Juice Robinson used the momentum to roll up Gallows to retain the titles. I thought that this was a great matchup, exceeded all my expectations. I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. This was old school wrestling. I felt like I was watching like Rock and Roll Express versus the Brain Busters. Like this felt very much like I think what the Good Brothers missed having in WWE all those years. This is the great action, and kind of put the stamp on what's been a great year for the Good Brothers since leaving WWE. What was your thoughts on this matchup, Ness?
I give this match 3 3/4 stars. It was a good match. Overall, I'm shocked that FinJuice retained. That's like the most that I'm getting out of this. That's the biggest thing of the match. Like again, the match was a good match, but like I was so certain that the Good Brothers would, get the Impact Tag Team titles back, be dripped in gold with their brother Kenny Omega, and that's just the way it was going to be. But it's not, and I'm not upset about it. But now that I hope that either FinJuice is going to be in Impact to defend those tag titles, or they actually do defend them in New Japan. Like I just want to don't just hold on to them, like actually defend the titles. But other than that, I was thoroughly entertained.
And they looked drippy in their new gear. That new gear was
it looked like fucking Chinese finger traps. Too bad we can't edit this in. Romeo could have just threw in one.
I'm done. Wow. I don't even know how to respond from that. But yes, Christine, what was your thoughts on FinJuice versus the Good Brothers and star rating?
I gave this 3 3/4 as well. Really good tag team match. It was like it was refreshing. We're so used to like kind of like the car crash tag team matches nowadays. This was like a real old school build up from the beginning, and then finally that hot tag, man, Juice came out like a guns blazing, like a ball of fire, the Human Torch, just getting everywhere. And I like the finish. I was pleasantly surprised because I thought the Good Bros were going to get the titles back as well. So I like it. No complaints on this side. I need more of that. And I do agree with Ness. I would like to see the tag team championships be defended in Japan against a New Japan tag team, but I'm trying not to get greedy.
I wouldn't mind with the Under Siege theme for the May 15th Impact Plus special that they do like a rematch, maybe like a Falls Count Anywhere, like stipulation match. Because, it would fit the theme with New Japan being a part of it. Under Siege with, you can have people from AEW, you can have Omega on this show. So should be interesting with those Impact Plus specials leading up to Slammiversary. Romeo, what was your thoughts on Finjuice defeating the Good Brothers to retain the Impact Tag Team titles? And what was your star ratings for the match?
3.25 stars for me. I thought the match got better after Juice's hot tag. But my question for you guys is, you guys are talking New Japan. Who are the tag teams in Impact Wrestling that could get a good match out of Finjuice?
Decay is pretty good. I like Black Torres, the Black Torres part of that team more than anything. I think James Storm and Chris Sabin could get a good to great match out of Finjuice. There's not a lot of heel tag teams, I will say, for Impact Wrestling right now because they just lost Reno Scum. They just lost Ethan Page, so there's a lot of there's a lack of heel tag teams that the Good Brothers that's why I think a lot of people thought the Good Brothers was going to win here, because being a heel tag team with all these babyface tag teams that they've built up in Impact Wrestling makes more sense. But it can create interesting matchups with Finjuice, and we don't know who's going to come over from AEW, who else will come over from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So it's going to be interesting with their tag team division, but it was a very surprising move having Finjuice win here. So yes, we got a couple of comments in the comments section here. We got on YouTube, John Elite watching, the Good Brother. He says, "Sup guys, I was surprised Finjuice retained. This was a phenomenal match, no pun intended." I agree with you there. We got my good brother from Powered 4 SP3, John Scott, the man of Powered 4 TV. He says, "Good morning, early hours of UK, watch show live, and now I'm off to sleep. Great show, True Hill Heat." Thank you, John Scott. I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, as always, sir. And we got Alonzo Cruz on Facebook saying, "I want to see Trey as the next face of the X Division. Josh can be a great heel." Yes. I mean, they kind of been positioning Josh Alexander more in a babyface role, especially now with Petey Williams returning, and they're kind of being a Team Canada 2.0, a new generation of Team Canada. I wouldn't mind them in the tag team division. That's another reason I was surprised about Josh Alexander. Sometimes title changes don't have to be predictable. They can be surprising, and title retentions can be surprising. So we had the surprising title retention of Finjuice, and I think the Josh Alexander winning the X Division championship was kind of surprising because Ace Austin just won the title, and he kind of fit the mode of being an anchor for the division. So it was an interesting move having Josh Alexander win in what was a great opener, like we discussed before. But we have one more match to discuss, so keep leaving those comments in the live chat for our Impact Wrestling Rebellion Roundtable review. One last match to discuss, and it's our final title match we got to talk about. We talked about the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann, a Impact World Champion main event at the beginning of this show, but we had a great interviews during the night. Excellent promo from Don Callis, hyping the match, talking about all the people that Kenny Omega is greater than, congratulating Swann for getting him out of his head, but he still has to wrestle the greatest wrestler ever. He was just fantastic throughout the night with his promo work, even in the vignettes. And Rich Swann had a really, really good babyface promo earlier in the night, talking about trying to overcome the odds with Kenny Omega. So I had to mention those here. But our Knockouts Championship matchup was next up as the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo with Susan and Kimber Lee versus the number one contender Tennille Dashwood with Caleb with a K. It was Tennille who got the victory at Hardcore Justice to become the number one contender in a 6 knockouts weapons match, and it was Deonna Purrazzo who got the victory at Hardcore Justice, defeating Jazz and retiring her. So these were two heels going at it, and I thought that they mixed it up very well. I think, in my opinion, this was probably Tenille Dashwood's best match.
It was.
Over
It was.
to
It
Impact
was.
Wrestling.
It was.
Yeah, she just worked really well with Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo is so underrated. I just think that so many people don't watch Impact Wrestling and don't know how good she is, but she kind of proved how technically proficient she was. She was so smooth in this match throughout this match, but kind of the thing that took away from it for me was the outside interference with Susan and Kimberly and Caleb with the K. That kind of took away some of this from me, but overall, I think when the two ladies went at it, they mixed it up very well. Dashwood escaped the Fujiwara armbar, only to take the Queen's Gambit, which is the God-style power driver from Deonna Purrazzo for the 1-2-3. They started off kind of sloppy, but they definitely got comfortable with each other and set a good pace. And then after the match, the trio of Kimberly, Susan, and Deonna Purrazzo attacked Dashwood, but out came the returning Taylor Wilde. It's been building up for the last couple of weeks with vignettes talking about Let's Get Wild. She was coming to Impact Zone in April 2021, but the former Knockouts champion, the former Knockouts tag team champion, Taylor Wilde has returned, and it looks like she is going to be next up to verse Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts championship. So first, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the match and your star rating, and then what was your thoughts on the post-match with Taylor Wilde coming in to feud with Deonna Purrazzo? Let's go over to Romeo. What was your thoughts on Purrazzo and Dashwood first?
Worst match of the night for me. Slow and clunky at the beginning. I thought Tenille looked bad. I'm shocked that this is the best you've seen her. I don't want to see the other matches. Man, it just gets a 2.25 stars from me. I thought Deonna did what she could, but I thought Tenille was bad. And the ending, I don't even know who that is, but that music was awful. Yeah, this didn't do it for me.
Oh man, that's funny. Ness, what was your thoughts on Dashwood versus Purrazzo?
I gave it 2.5 stars. It was a good showing, in my opinion, of Tenille. It was slow at first, and it didn't seem like things were clicking, but as the match went on, it definitely gotten better. I have to once again apologize to Deonna Purrazzo, the Demon Slayer, because she slayed the demons. I thought that the way they were building this up, I thought that Tenille would get this win, being how like they faced each other before and she's never beat her. So I guess they played up on that story, but also did say they could just be building that up so Deonna does beat her, So overall, what's her name? Taylor Wilde. I don't want her to be the one to beat Deonna Purrazzo. She's like, I guess that's how they're kind of positioning it now, but I don't want that to happen. Let Deonna beat her ass too. Because nobody, let us just run through everybody. Be like the longest reigning, most dominant knockouts champion, because that's the talent that she is. Just like SP3 was just saying, just like SP3 was saying, she's a phenomenal talent, and I say it like all the time. She's not one of the best female wrestlers in the world, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Period. She knows her shit. She is an excellent in-ring performer, but it's the fact that Impact is such a niche audience, and like she didn't get to show this when she was in WWE and NXT, but she's showing it now. So I'm telling you guys, if you're not used to her, you need to put her on your watch list.
So we got in the comments here, Chase Oliver says Trey Miguel versus Sami Callihan was such a disappointment for me. He also says my favorite match was this, talking about, I guess, Dashwood versus Purrazzo or Cardona versus Myers. So mixed feelings from him as well as from you guys. In my opinion, I thought
Chase, did you watch the main event, Chase?
Hey, he's not a fan of the Kenny Omega and Rich Swann style. It's okay. It's all right. I thought it was a good match. Like I said, I thought the ladies it started off pretty rough, but once they got the hang of it, they mixed it up very well. It was Dashwood's best match since coming to Impact. I gave it 3 stars. I think that I only held it back because of the sloppy start to the match, but other than that, I thought it was really good. Chris G, end us off. What was your thoughts on Peraza versus Dashwood? And then I got a question for you guys talking about Deonna Purrazzo specifically. But go ahead, Chris G.
So I gave this match 2 3/4. This was definitely the best match I've seen Tenille Dashwood have since she's been at Impact. And mainly because most of her matches is a lot of character work and just being a shit heel and just trying to cheat. This was more like her actually working and just being aggressive and trying to actually win the match. So the match was decent. It was a little clunky at first, but I thought like towards the end, besides the outside interference, it was really turning up. So I enjoyed it, but Taylor Wilde, we knew she was coming, or I knew she was coming. So I hope she doesn't beat Deonna, but she makes for a good challenger because there's not really anybody left.
I want to bump my rating from 2.5 to 2 3/4 as well. Just want to add that.
Okay. I think I'm the only one. Hot take. I think Taylor Wilde should beat Deonna Purrazzo. This division has no baby faces. There's no baby faces. She's washed through everybody in this goddamn division.
Let her kick her ass too.
No,
come on, man.
You have to have Taylor Wilde win the title for the new fans. Like, you can't just always highlight. This is what WWE's dumbass did with Mickie James. You don't have a legendary a woman in your come back to your division when you're trying to push the division and her not win the title or not look important. And if Taylor Wilde just comes back just to lose to Deonna Purrazzo, that doesn't look good for her. That doesn't establish a feud. You create a feud by having Taylor Wilde come in and win the title, and then Deonna eventually can win it back for her, and it means something when she beats her. It's money. That's what I think. I think about the money, guys.
Yeah, that's why you're the figurehead.
Hey, money. That's all I'm thinking about. Well, we got in the comments here on YouTube, Brett Thomas says the only way Omega can be a true heel and have as much heat as you, SP3, the belt collector Omega, Kenny becomes Evil Ken, Street Fighter reference, and spends time with Jake Paul, how to pull it off. Yes, Jake Paul and Kenny Omega, the new evil tag team in professional wrestling.
Brett Thomas, that was a roller coaster of a comment.
I was gonna say, hey, look at that. I think that's Jake Paul right there. I think he has a burner named Brett Thomas.
Hey, Brett Thomas. Brett Thomas is the biggest Logan Paul and Jake Paul fan. If you don't know, now you know. He says Evil Ken would need a makeover, like chop his hair down and give him a corporate JBL haircut and be a heel better. He performs still like a face in ring. He doesn't work heel in ring. You didn't listen to anything I said. A babyface does not work over a goddamn body part for the majority of a match to set up the finish. That is a heel that does that works the heat and works over the body part. That is babyface and heel wrestling 101. What are you not understanding? Do the V triggers make you trigger and make you think he's wrestling like a babyface, but he's using the V triggers in a heel way to wear down, and he's doing it ad nauseum to make you annoyed with the V trigger. This is how you are a heel. Does anyone? It's true heel heat. Do you understand how to be a heel? He is working like a heel. I'm sorry, Brett Thomas. I love you, man. You're great. You're awesome. But that last sentence, you should have erased it before you even press send. But yeah, we got more comments here. Chase Oliver says, the neck injury setup was silly and those botches were rough. All the extra pomp and circumstances for nothing. Seeing Eddie out there, I was like, it should have been him. Oh, he's an Eddie Edwards fan. I've seen a bunch of Eddie Edwards fans being very upset with what's going on tonight. So I'm not gonna try to trigger you after I just ripped apart a comment. So we got I Am Mikey, Mike Ashman saying beautiful to see how Impact has become the central spot for all talent to take control of their personas. We have talent of each era of Impact. Samoa Joe is the perfect fit for Omega to drop Impact Gold. I would not mind that at all. I thought that the goal here, from point A to point B was, Omega winning the titles, and I thought Moose would be the one to beat Omega. But I really wouldn't mind if Samoa Joe was the one to beat Kenny Omega because he has the star power, he has the name value to beat Omega and stand up there and create a big buy rate for Impact Wrestling as well when they build to this matchup. And then you have Joe lose to Moose. And it still puts over Moose. And it's the same thing of what I'm saying with Taylor Wilde. Yes, Joe is a former champion. Yes, Joe is probably, Romeo's losing. He's getting upset. I'm talking about Joe outside of WWE. But yes, Joe is a legend of Impact Wrestling. He's one of the GOATs of Impact Wrestling, but you need to establish him to the new audience. And there's a whole new audience. So putting the gold on him and him being the one to beat Kenny Omega, it makes it bigger in the end when someone beats him for the title. And Moose can be that star who does that, in my opinion, because Moose needs to be the Impact World Champion either by the end of this year or beginning of 2022. We got Andrew Kratzer saying, I really want to know this end game for Impact. I didn't see them benefiting for this from this AEW crossover. Like, how does one company let another company walk out with your title on your pay-per-view? He also says, unless they are setting up an Impact star taking the AEW title off of Kenny at Double or Nothing on May 5th. No, that wouldn't make any sense. The end goal, to answer the question for you, Impact Wrestling's ratings have been up with Kenny Omega on the show. I think that some people let an article or two or a week or two where the ratings are down to make them convinced that he's not raising the ratings, but the ratings overall, since he's been there since December, have been up for Impact Wrestling, and especially have been up since they moved over to Thursday. It's just been great for the product and for people who wanted to watch Impact Wrestling. Also, it's already been confirmed, Hard to Kill in January was the second biggest buy rate of a pay-per-view in Impact Wrestling since Anthem bought the company. And this pay-per-view will probably shatter that record and whatever is the number one spot, because this pay-per-view will be the most bought Impact Wrestling pay-per-view of all time. Kenny Omega is drawing eyes to Impact Wrestling that wasn't there before. So if you don't understand the end game, that probably is more of a something about you than it is for Impact, to be honest, because it's very clear to people who understand business and understand the numbers and look into that, what the end game and what this benefit is for Impact. It's Romeo's here. Like, what?
Andrew, relax. Be
That's
calm,
the truest
take
of
it easy.
statements.
Impact is gonna get their world title back. I assure you, it's gonna happen. Just relax. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah, it's all about Omega being champion to draw eyes to it. And then in the end, Samoa Joe we talked about Moose, we talked about Eddie Edwards. Chase Oliver's the Eddie Edwards fan. It's a possibility we can get Eddie Edwards versus Kenny Omega, which would be a hell of a match. And Chase Oliver, no matter what you feel about Kenny Omega, he's gonna come out and probably have Eddie Edwards' probably best match of the last 5 years. Like, yeah. It's just what Kenny Omega kind of does. Like, we saw Rich Swann, probably the best match of his Impact run so far tonight, and we're gonna have plenty of great matchups with Kenny Omega as Impact World Champion. So let's go to another comment here. We got Mike Ashman saying Samoa Joe for Impact Saver and make his crossover to AEW, lead the invasion for Impact. Now is the time. The forbidden door is wide open. Omega needs to be treated like the top target globally. Do you agree with that comment, Ness? What do you think about Samoa Joe eventually returning to Impact and being the savior for the company?
Yeah, I'd be all for that. At one point, I thought it was going to be Moose, and who knows, it still could be. But I would love to see Joe return at what's the next pay-per-view? Slammiversary?
The next pay-per-view, yeah.
Yeah, the next pay-per-view, yeah. That's when his 90 days are up. So that would be something amazing. Who doesn't want to see that match? Like, I'm salivating thinking about the match right now. This is definitely going to be a banger. But yeah, definitely.
Yes, we got Chase Oliver in the comments here. He says, "Man, you can rip up my comment. I'm good with it." I love it. I love it. Chase Oliver, you're one of my favorites, honestly. You always got a good opinion. And like you said, it's just an opinion on professional wrestling. And this is just a response on an opinion on professional wrestling. It's all in good fun, man. We're all a community here, and we love your comments. So continue bringing it on. Give your thoughts on Impact Wrestling Rebellion. We got Brett Thomas again. He says he doesn't get heat. He has no patience, SP3. He works too fast like fan favorite. It's natural to him. Watch Roman. He's slower. Makes everything feel more impactful to dislike him. But SP3, I trust you. Romeo, do you prefer Omega style of being a heel in the ring or Roman Reigns?
Oh, I prefer Romans, but Omega does put together good matches. So, like, I'm not complaining. The heat comes from Don Callis being a dick. I mean, you saw him at the end of the pay-per-view. He was. Did you see that jubilation from Don Callis? That was great.
Absolutely. We got Chase Oliver again saying Moose needs to be a champion soon. I love that dude. Best one in the company for me. And then we got a different opinion from Brett Thomas. Moose, and he spelled it mouse, is terrible. We got good fella 1422. Buy rates for this pay-per-view is the benefit. Good fella gets it. He's a good fella, so he's one of my favorite movies, so he's good in my book. We got Chase Oliver says, agreed, good fella, whole point. We got Chase Oliver giving us the information. Chase Oliver is an MVP in the live chat right now. He says number one was Lockdown 2008. Okay. And I would argue, guys, that this is the best Impact Wrestling pay-per-view since Lockdown 2008. What would you say, Chris G? Where was this rank as far as the Impact Wrestling pay-per-views that you've seen since 2008?
So Lockdown 2008, was that Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe? Or who was like in the main event? I can't even go back that far.
Yes. Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe, where Samoa Joe won the title, where they did like the MMA based match in the cage.
So, and that was pretty innovative at the time, that whole concept. But since then, since I've been like watching Impact a lot the last 2 or 3 years, this is definitely my favorite pay-per-view. Just the whole impact of everything that went on, and the card from top to bottom was solid. So, yeah, I think this is definitely. I would have to rewatch 2008 Lockdown to see if it's better than that one, but it's definitely 1 and 2 for sure.
Agreed there. How about you, Ness?
Yeah, I could say that. I had to go back and watch Lockdown 2008, but since I've been watching Impact, this definitely was my favorite pay-per-view. Definitely up there, and I just want to see him just keep it rolling. Let's keep it moving. The guys are on a good path right now.
I got an interesting question for Romeo. What you saw tonight, we'll get into, match of the night, MVP, LVP, and out of 10, what we thought of the show. So in the live chat, let us know what your match of the night was, what your MVP, what your LVP was, and what you gave Impact Wrestling Rebellion, what you gave the pay-per-view out of 10. And keep sharing this on our video on YouTube, on social media, or if you're watching on Facebook, tag a friend in there. But let us know in the live chat what you thought. Romeo, did what you saw tonight lead you to want to see more of Impact Wrestling?
Maybe if there's more AEW inclusion, probably. You're telling me this is the best pay-per-view since in 13 years? Is that man?
Okay. All right. We got Brett Thomas saying, "Endgame, it's easy, money." Money sign. That was a stupid question. Endgame is to get a rub. Tony Khan is giving away money Tony needs to give money to Jake Paul. See, there is fans that think
Oh my God.
Tony is giving away money by giving them Kenny Omega to sell their pay-per-views. And that's why they didn't promote it on AEW Dynamite. I'm already giving you my biggest star. What do I have to promote your fucking show on my precious TV time? And it still worked out where they still got probably one of their biggest buy rates of all time. Chase Oliver says, talking about the Lockdown 2008, he says Kurt versus Joe fought in a cool cage MMA wrestling hybrid match. Amazing stuff. Yes, definitely. If you're going to watch anything from that Lockdown 2008 show, you should definitely be that matchup. But I think it was, where is this? Oh, yeah, we got Brett Thomas here saying, don't bother, Romeo. Waste your time on, don't bother wasting your time on Lockdown 2008. See, he's already trying to deny you of some good Impact Wrestling, man. He's already trying. We got also Chase Oliver saying, no, nothing will top Eddie versus Davey, Best in the World 2011. I was there live for that match. And I've seen plenty of matches since then that topped that match. I'm sorry, in my opinion. I know in your opinion that was the best match you've seen, and I respect that, sir. We got Goodfella saying every championship Kenny wins, there will be a story on every belt he loses. Absolutely, and we're seeing stories like shape up on all grounds, but we got to talk about from these guys what was our match of the night. I think this is probably an easy one for all of us. Are we all in agreement? The main event.
Unanimous
all around. And MVP of Impact Wrestling Rebellion, Romeo. Let's start with you.
Oh, the belt collector, Kenny Omega. So kind of him to come by Impact and help the buy rate and help everyone. What a guy. Kenny Omega.
Kenneth Omega is Romeo's MVP. Ness.
Without going with the obvious Kenny Omega, I'm gonna give it to Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace. They've, for the first time teaming, they look decent. Can't wait to see more of them. And they became champions tonight as well. So congrats to them.
Chris G.
Kenny, by God, Omega. And who else? There was one more I had. Oh, Tony Khan. Because without him, this would not be possible.
Anthony Khan provided us with one of the best Impact Wrestling main events in the past couple of years. We thank Anthony Khan for that, and I hope Jimmy Macaram and Marcus Cash are watching when I say I thank Anthony Khan for blessing us for tonight. I give my MVP, co-MVP. I like to give it to someone who looked great in a loss, and I always like to give it to someone who looked great in victory. I would love to honorable mention for Josh Alexander winning the X Division Championship, Rachel Ellering with a great debut winning the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, and Kenny, by God, Omega. I already gave you a match of the night, so I'm not going to give you MVP. My MVP, co-MVP, first of all, is Kenny Omega's opponent, Rich Swann. He had great selling. He was a great babyface. The excellent promo backstage, and then a just stellar performance in this main event. Like, you're only as good as the guy you're going up against. Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers on the entire planet, and Rich Swann lived up to the skills of Kenny Omega, regardless of what Brett Thomas is saying in the live chat right now. Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and Rich Swann lived up to that level, and they had a great main event to the evening. So Rich Swann deserves our respect, and he gets my co-MVP along with Finn Juice. Finn Juice getting the victory was probably the most surprising result of the night, and I thought their match was great. I rated it the highest of anyone on this roundtable because it was so different from what we get usually with tag team wrestling nowadays. Like, this is what WWE tries to achieve with formulaic tag team matches, but it's never as good, it's never as crisp as what we saw with the Good Brothers and Finn Juice. Old school tag team wrestling at its finest, and I thought it was a great match that deserves some praise. So Finn Juice is my co-MVP. But on the other side of the coin, we have our LVPs, or as Chris G, Ness, and Romeo like to say the jabroni of the night. Romeo, let's start with you.
Oh, this is easy. Matt Stryker is awful. Awful. I cannot believe there's people out there who think he's that much better than Josh Matthews. Like, no, he's awful. And then to top it all off, the main event, a real professional announcer comes by and just shits all over him. Mauro now shows him how it's done. Matt Stryker's my jabroni.
One vote for Matt Stryker. I didn't expect to hear that. But Chris G, who you got?
I'm gonna give it to Brian Hebner. Not only did Tony Khan cut his ass, he also got fucking hit by Kenny Omega and took that bump.
Damn.
And his last name is Hebner. Can't trust him.
Can't trust him. He was trying to screw Kenny. Ness, who's your LVP?
My LVP is Matt Cardona because his dumbass really thought that Brian Myers was going to help him out, help him up, and he got hit with the roster cut. And then he's really the LVP to losing to that goofy ass fucking finisher because I hate it. The name is dope, but I hate that move. So yeah, Matt Cardona, you're the jabroni of the night.
God damn, what a rough night for Matt Cardona over there. This one was tough because I thought like nothing was truly bad to me on the night. Yeah, it's like this is probably the hardest I've had with the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view as far as getting an LVP. But you made a good argument for Matt Cardona. So yeah, I think Matt Cardona by default here is going to be my LVP because, oh yeah, like I talked about with the review, Brian Myers looked better than him on this night. So if Brian Myers is looking better than you, and this is kind of a spotlight moment for you, and you just come up short, so yeah, you got to get the LVP. I'm sorry, Matt Cardona. I really do like you. I really am a fan. But yeah,
it's warranted. It's warranted.
I'm sorry. Yes, we got a couple of more comments we got to highlight here. We got different views from a lot of people in the live chat. Keep it coming in. We got LVP from Chase Oliver. We also got Goodfella saying I think he sees Samoa Joe with the AEW strap. We got Chase Oliver saying no, the world title match was more bad because of Swann. Kenny is a good wrestler, not my cup of tea, but he can deliver. We got Brett Thomas with the fire flames hot takes. He says that Impact title belt means nothing anyway. Hardly a historic protected belt. Win ROH belt or a New Japan title now to be true belt collector. That Impact one is a toy prop. Jake Oliver, next UFC title. Oh my God, I love it. I think I said that in the right tone and right delivery as well. Like he's very angry with that comment. You felt that, guys?
I stopped reading at Jake Paul next UFC title.
He wanted the heat. He wanted the true heel heat there. We got Chase Oliver saying Slammiversary 2016, my favorite pay-per-view from Impact. Drew versus Lashley put on a better match than any of their WWE matches. I agree with that. Great match between those two. Great matches between those two for sure. We had Chase saying Jeff and Brooke and Matt on that card, and Mike Bennett versus EC3, a nice hidden gem. So giving us a recommendation, we got Lockdown 2008, we got Slammiversary 2016. If you want to get into the history of Impact Wrestling, Chase Oliver is providing you with a bunch of them to watch. And then Brett Thomas, K-Fed gets more heat than Kenny Omega. We got. I'm gonna read all his comments in that voice, guys. I just want to let y'all know. Andrew Kratzler says, I'm giving Rich Swann the MVP of this pay-per-view. Gotta agree with you there. We got a Brett Thomas again. Evil Ken match of night. Even though he was winning more fan favorite by end. Fans more happy now. if Ken lost, they would have actually more intelligently got more heat and had their own star doing it. Oh man, the venom of him. We got Chase Oliver saying LVP laughed my fucking ass off. I was typing that striker and Trey Miguel's ring gear. We got
Yeah, yeah. That shit was dope.
and then finally we got Brett Thomas saying thank you SP3. Yes, I have to read your comments. I didn't read that one in the voice, but your comments are awesome, Brett Thomas. And good brother Maurice Williams saying watching the build up and the title versus title match, I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm glad it wasn't Moose in that spot. Jeez. I mean, Moose would have been in the main event of the highest drawing Impact Wrestling pay-per-view of the Anthem era. So I don't think that would have been a bad spot for him either. But I think the long game is Moose eventually winning the Impact World title, either from Kenny Omega or possibly the returning Impact hero, Samoa Joe. We got to see what happens in the long run. But guys, it's about that time. Put your thumbs in the middle in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna give a thumbs up, a thumbs down for Impact Rebellion in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs in the middle. Let's go over to Romeo. Out of 10, you gave it a thumbs in the middle. So what out of 10, what did you give Impact Rebellion 2021?
A 5.8 for me. I think if you didn't watch this, I think you should watch the main event, the opening match, and I think everything else is just skippable, passable. Maybe you could have those matches on an episode of Impact. I'm very, very shocked to hear that you guys like this and consider it the second best pay-per-view in 13 years, because a lot of that was skippable to me.
Jesus. You and Brett Thomas over here. He says out of 10, he gives it a 3.6. Chris
I thought
G.
that was a negative 3.6.
He's definitely bugging. He's bugging.
Chris G, what did you give Impact Rebellion?
I really like this. I'm giving it a 7.5. 7.5.
7.5 out of 10 from Chris G. Ness, what did you give Impact Rebellion 2021?
I also give it 7.5. This was a great show. If you're an avid Impact watcher, then you would appreciate it. If not, it's not everybody's taste, so it's understandable. But I think this was a thumbs up pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Can I add something else?
Go ahead.
I wouldn't be caught dead paying $40 for this. I'll tell you that.
Well, Jesus Christ, man. You really did.
I knew he was going to say something there. Yeah.
I defeated Dana White this weekend, and I defeated Impact Wrestling this weekend.
Jesus, man. The way to just rain on their parade, everybody's giving it 7.5 and stuff, and Romeo just has to be like, well, thank God I didn't pay for this crap. But I'm going to go one higher than even the guys that cover Impact Wrestling for the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. I'm going to give this one 8 out of 10. I think that, like I said, it was the best Impact Wrestling pay-per-view that I've seen in quite some time. I think that they've been on a run of good to great pay-per-views since 2018. Impact Redemption, that was main evented by Pentagon versus Phoenix versus Austin Aries for the Impact World Championship, and to see how they've evolved since then. And at that time, they wanted to do a whole belt collector angle with the scum of the earth and known certified jackass Austin Aries, and now they have a great human being like Kenny Omega to complete this belt collector story. So it's great to see how far Impact Wrestling has come to reform themselves and rebuild their reputation, where it was in the dirt in 2017 and at the start of 2018. And now the wrestling world is buzzing. Now such outlets as Fightful, Wrestling Observer are covering Impact Wrestling more. Everyone paid attention to this match. This was called an historic match, called one of the biggest main events in Impact Wrestling history. So I love where Impact has come, and tonight it was a great show for them. So 8 out of 10 from me, 7 out of 10 from the guys from Blunt Impact, and Romeo and Brett Thomas. We're down on the show, which is all right.
I'm just
But
a casual.
also,
What do I know? I'm just a casual.
this is true. And also, Brett Thomas also gives the Triller Show 8.5. So he gave
That
it
shit was
higher.
trash.
He gave it higher than
That
what
was. I'd rather watch this.
But Brett Thomas, we want to tell you thank you so much for staying up with us and watching our review. He says he lives in the UK, so it's like 6 a.m. over there. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate him. We appreciate it. He bought the goods. He's accusing me of being an employee of AEW. So I am doing good in the wrestling journalism world. Finally, Chase Oliver, who was one of our great guys in the live chat tonight, he says, "Great review, boys. Going to bed bright and early tomorrow. Keep up the hard work. Hope to make the next stream. We hope you are here with us for our next stream. Probably will be an episode of True Hill Heat right before WrestleMania Backlash, and we'll go live for our WrestleMania Backlash Roundtable review after either after the show or the following day. Probably too late for my kids. I can't do this too many times. But yes, final comment to highlight. We got Maurice on Facebook saying MVP, the invisible hand, Don Callis, LVP, the empty arena. Even with the commentary, the silence tends to take me out of matches. I can understand that. I don't mind that take at all. But yes, we are wrapping up.
They do that whack ass plug, like that piped in crowd noise. That shit is so annoying because it's, oh my god, I hate that shit. I should throw that on my LVP too.
But yes, if you are just joining us or you joined us late, yes, Kenny Omega is the new Impact World Champion, along with retaining the AEW World Championship, defeating Rich Swann for the championship in 23 minutes with the One Ring Angel. All of us unanimously rated it 4.5 stars and called it the match of the night, and definitely worth going out of your way to watch. But we're gonna wrap up
Chris
things
with the 5 stars. Don't remember.
Oh yes. Sorry, unanimous for me, Romeo, and Ness, and Chris G. He's higher than us with 5-star rating.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. But so, speaking of high, let's go over to Chris G. Please let the people know where they can find you on social media or anything you're doing on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel.
You can find me at True Hill Chris G. You can find me here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Blunt Impact with the 3-time baby making champion Ness. NX3 with Ness and our tag team partner, Romeo Anthony Colon. Joints and jabronis, roundtables, wherever you need me, I'm here.
He's a hard-working man. I even seen him at shoot job. This guy works hard wherever he's at. He does his thing, and that's why he's a valued member of the True Hill Heat community. But his partner in crime, his partner in the pot heels, Ness, tell them where they can find you on social media and the True Hill Heat YouTube channel.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at skinny_Kravitz. You can follow me on Instagram at skinny__Kravitz. You can catch me on Blunt Impact and Joyce and Jabronis with my man Chris G. We form the Pot Heels. I am one half of Fusion of Honor with my man the Stat King, the man of 1,004 numbers, where we review everything that goes on in Ring of Honor and MLW Fusion. Also, I am on NX3 reviewing NXT with, once again, Chris G, Bars, and my man Romeo Anthony Colon, and the Roundtable Rebel. And as always, you can hear my illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
Excellent. And Romeo, tell them where they can find you on social media and the True Hill Heat YouTube channel.
The Pride of NY, Twitter and Instagram, NX3 as these fellas just mentioned, and also check out our biography reviews we're doing on the channel of all the A&E biographies that are airing every Sunday.
Yes. And let us know if you're watching on demand in the comment section below if you would like the A&E biography to review, to maybe one or two to be live. Let us know if you enjoy the live stream more than our content. The A&E biography has done great. Over 500 views on that video.
Wow.
Continue supporting.
Congratulations. That's
We want to thank Ness for the great idea who suggested us reviewing it. He's going to join us on the A&E biography reviews moving forward. But excellent idea, excellent support from you guys. So we got to thank you. Continue watching, continue supporting that video. Give up those thumbs up. I had a goal of 50 thumbs up. We're like halfway there. So keep those thumbs up going. Keep those views going up for that video, as well as this video. Share this video on all your favorite social media platforms. Share it with your friends, your family, your other wrestling fans. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Make this a high liked video. All of our live streams are well liked, but we want to make this one of our highest. And of course, smash that subscribe button if you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, tag a friend, get an engagement. We got a couple of hearts, a couple of like emoji. Give us a laugh emoji, an angry emoji. However you felt about Impact Rebellion, however you felt about a couple of our views or roundtable review, let us know. Drop us an expression. It helps us out, and we really, really would love the support, and we love your help as sharing this video as well with all your friends. And of course, you can follow me on social media, on Twitter at TrueHeelSP3. You can follow me on other social media and YouTube channel platforms like Powered 4 TV with Powered 4 SP3 this coming Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. BST for all of you folks in the UK. I'll be on Wednesday as well on Wrestling Daily with Alex McCarthy, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. BST. On Sportskeeda Wrestling, following SmackDown with Smack Talk with Dutch Mantel and Rick Ucchino on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel as well. And then every single Saturday on True Hill Heat with Miss Chrissy Love and Top Guy JJ. So follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. We want to thank you all for joining us for the True Hill Heat Impact Wrestling Rebellion 2021 Roundtable Review. For the connoisseur of reporting, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon. For the three-time baby-making champion, this is Ness. For the marijuana enthusiast of all the True Hills, Chris G. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our Impact Rebellion Roundtable Review. We are signing off until next time.